We welcome you to Norton Talk Sports, where we talk college sports. Tonight will be our Sunday night series recap for baseball on a gorgeous Sunday. A lot of shocking surprises, I'll be honest with you. A lot of upsets I didn't see happening. A lot of games that I'll admit I was wrong on. Um, with that being said, we'll hop right into it, starting with Tennessee and Alabama. Kind of headline this weekend, along with LSU and Texas. Bama took game one 6-5. They used a big 5-run second inning to really kind of seal that one. But in the other two games, it was all Tennessee. Tennessee shows that they're the best offense hitting wise in the country. They put up, I think, 19 combined runs in games two and three. They beat Alabama on Friday 10-7, and then beat Alabama on Saturday in game three in the rubber match 9-2 to take it over the Alabama Crimson Tide. First series win in Tuscaloosa in a long time. So we'll celebrate that one. Or Tennessee will celebrate that one. But with that being said, we move on. Texas and LSU. I I was wrong. I said LSU will go into Texas and beat Texas. They did not. They beat them on Friday night, but Saturday and Sunday it belonged to the Longhorns. Texas is impressive. Texas is very impressive. They're a very good team. They're hard to beat at their place. So I'm not here to knock LSU and tell you they're a bad team, but they do come up short today, 6-2 to lose the series. Some good games. LSU had chances, but couldn't capitalize. So that game was just that series was back and forth. Um, Georgia and Florida. I was wrong. I'll admit I was wrong. I said Florida was going to win the series because it was in Gainesville. Florida's terrible. We legit need to sit down and have a legit conversation about how bad the Florida Gator baseball team is right now. They're 0-6 in conference play. Now, granted, they played the number one team and the number four team. Not bad opponents. But you gotta win one in a series. And against Georgia, Friday night was close. Saturday and Sunday were not. Saturday, Georgia won in Gainesville 17-2, and then today they won 15-4, and they won Friday night 8-7. But Florida, they're young. I'll give them that. They have no pitching, none whatsoever, and they're 0-6 in conference play. It's not been good days in Gainesville here recently. Um, with that being said, Georgia can absolutely knock the cover off the baseball. I don't know if them and I haven't looked that far ahead. I don't know if them and Tennessee play each other this year because no divisions. If they do, that would be a fun series. Um, but we move on. We move on. I'm looking for the Clemson. Clemson and Wake Forest are tied at 6 in the top of the ninth. Florida State. See if Florida State ended up winning the series. They did. So Florida State does drop a game, but they do win the series at Miami. I thought they might sweep Miami. I said there was no way that Miami would take a game. They did. So I was wrong on that one. But Florida State does take the series and continues to prove that they are the best team, in my opinion, in the ACC. Wake Forest and Clemson currently playing, I believe, in the rubber match. Yes, in the rubber match, and they are tied at 6-6 in the top of the ninth there in Clemson. So that's really the scores of interest. Um, Also Ole Miss looking for a sweep over Missouri. That's kind of expected. Arkansas, I know we talked about a little bit in that series against South Carolina. Arkansas has absolutely dominated that series. South Carolina, another team that's off to a slow start in conference play. We'll see if they can rebound eventually. It's not looking good in Columbia, South Carolina right now. Um, with that being said, Vanderbilt and A&M. Vanderbilt gets the sweep there. No shock. Um, A&M is completely falling off the cliff. Completely from preseason number one. They may not even make the tournament this year. Oklahoma swept Mississippi State. I think that's a big sweep for Oklahoma. And Oklahoma is a really good team. An underrated team, but they are really good. Um, that's really Middle Tennessee State did upset Dallas Baptist. ETSU gets the sweep over Samford, California, and Stanford in a rubber match are tied at 5 there in Stanford, California. Kentucky wins the series over Auburn. That one did kind of surprise me a little bit. I did pick um, Auburn to win the series, so I'll admit I was wrong on that one. Any other games? Arizona gets the sweep over West Virginia. North Carolina sweeps Boston College. Houston beats UCF. Pitt beat North Carolina State today. Troy beat Coastal Carolina. TCU beat Texas Tech. Baylor beat Kansas State. I mentioned MTSU. Ohio State lost to Iowa. Mentioned Texas and LSU, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. That's really all the games of note. But Tennessee does indeed win their series against Alabama, 2-1, and get off the losing skid. Now I'm going to give you a little what I think the top 5 should be. Definitely, I think Tennessee will stay number 1. LSU number 2. Arkansas 3. I think Texas should move up to 4. And, or correction, Georgia should, in my opinion, Georgia should bump Arkansas for that 3 spot. So I'll fix that. So top 5. Call me a homer all you want, but this is just the SEC is that good. Tennessee, LSU, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, Texas, and now I think Clemson or Florida State is that 6th best team. But there's some really good teams. The SEC is loaded yet again, but I think that's what the top 5 will look like. Tennessee is still in first place in the SEC. They are 5-1 in their first 6 conference games. That's a really good start and have a 1-game lead over LSU. Georgia might actually be in first. Hold on, let me check. Because Georgia might be in first because I don't know if they swept Kentucky or won 2 out of 3. I'll have to check. They won 2 out of 3. So Tennessee and Georgia are tied for first in the SEC at 5-1. I hope. I'll have to look at the schedule, but I hope those 2 teams play. Tennessee will play South Carolina next weekend in a series, and they play. Let me see who they play on Tuesday. They play the University of Queens. That should be relatively easy. They should take care of business in that one. It shouldn't even be competitive, to be honest with you. Should get back on track in there. Florida State at Florida in a midweek game. Sign me up. That'll be a fun one to watch. Georgia plays West Georgia. Not really a big one. Coastal Carolina, Clemson. And that's really it for the midweek good games. North Carolina, South Carolina. And then that's about it. So some good games on Tuesday, and then will be an even better weekend of some college baseball. And I'll be here to preview that on Thursday afternoon, either Wednesday or Thursday, excuse me. But Monday, I'll be back to break down the first 2 rounds of the college basketball NCAA tournament along with my boy Tucker. So we'll be back Monday breaking down the NCAA tournament first 2 rounds. I'm just going to come out and say it. My bracket is toast. Not a very good bracket. Probably my worst bracket in several years, but we'll have to break down over the weekend and on Monday night. Should be a fun one tomorrow. Thanks for listening to me. And as always, I'll talk to you next time. This was Norton Talk Sports.